Everyone, please give it up for Lisa Morton and Summer's End.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I am a Halloweenaholic. After writing 3 nonfiction books on the history of Halloween and an awful lot of fiction, as Roz mentioned, I thought it would be interesting to try to combine the two. A lot of people call this meta. I don't know what to call it, but I'm going to read you the beginning of Summer's End. October 31st, almost midnight. My name is Lisa Morton. I'm one of the world's leading authorities on Halloween, and this year I discovered that everything I thought I knew was wrong. It's been less than 2 weeks since the world started to fall apart. During the 3rd week of October, I received an email with the subject line, Samhain query. Of course, I get a lot of emailed questions this time of year, requests for interviews, reporters searching for illustrations for Halloween articles, someone trying to identify or appraise an old Halloween collectible. This year I had a new Halloween history book out, so I was trying to set up book signings. I'd even been invited to sign in the store in Salem, home of America's own homegrown witch hunting tragedy, although they couldn't find a place for me to stay. The hotels there book up a year in advance for the October festivities. But 2 things stood out about this email. The first was that it asked not about Halloween, but about the holiday's ancient Celtic forebear. The second was that the sender's address ended in ucla.edu. I clicked on the message and read, Dear Ms. Morton, I'm a linguistics professor at UCLA specializing in Latin, and I'm currently working with a team from Ireland to translate a manuscript discovered in a recent archaeological dig. The manuscript was written mostly in Latin, but was believed to belong to an Irish Druid circa 350 CE. It includes numerous references to Samhain, many of which I'm frankly having difficulty making much sense of. I found your book, The Halloween Encyclopedia, in the campus library, and you seem to have extensive knowledge of Samhain. Your bio says you're in the Southern California area, so would you be open to a meeting? Thank you. My contact information is below. Sincerely, Dr. Wilson Armitage. I checked the email headers to make sure this really had come from UCLA, because otherwise I would have smiled and dismissed it as an early Halloween prank. The Celts Druids, essentially their priest caste, were notorious for passing all of their lore verbally. They didn't believe in writing anything down. To have a Druid manuscript then was virtually impossible. And in Latin, there had been cases of Celts who had been integrated into Roman society and become quite adept in Latin. But they were from the Gaul tribes of continental Europe, not Ireland. But if this was real, well, scholars frankly know little about the Irish Celts and less about Samhain. What we have are the tantalizing bits passed down in legends transcribed by early Catholic missionaries. Stories about heroes who fought malicious Sidhe or fairies on Samhain Eve. Horror tales involving hanged corpses that returned to vengeful life on that night and asked for drinks, which they spit into the faces of those who were foolish enough to supply them, causing the immediate death of their benefactors. Romances about princesses who turned into swans on October 31st and who flew off with their true love. There were suggestions that the Celts had celebrated Summer's End, the literal translation of Samhain, with a 3-day-long party of drinking, feasting, horse racing. One debate raging among those who study Halloween questions asked how much of our modern holiday owes to the Celts. Some believe that the festival has completely Christian history and that its grimmer aspects derive from the November 2nd Catholic celebration of All Souls. Myself, I fall largely on the side of Summer's End. I think Halloween unquestionably inherited some of its lore from Samhain, like belief in supernatural forces being prevalent on the evening of October 31st, or the notion held mainly by the old Scots that fortune-telling was likelier to be successful if performed on All Hallows' Eve. So now I had been presented with what could potentially, possibly, change our understanding of Samhain, and perhaps even all of our history on the Celts. My schedule was pretty booked, but I had a rare free night tomorrow, so I called Dr. Armitage and told him I'd be happy to meet to discuss the project. He responded within minutes, suggesting a time and providing his UCLA office address. At least Armitage was legit, and he wasn't likely to be the kind of man who would be fooled by a scam. What would I find out? Was Samhain mainly just an administrative function when the Celts extinguished all their home hearths and relit them with an ember from a fire kindled by Druid priests, for which services they were duly taxed? Was it really just a 3-day kegger? Or was it possible that human sacrifice had been performed? I was 24 hours away from finding out.